Okay, so my video cut out, and I got to pick back up where supposedly I left off at, and I'm not sure exactly, but we are talking about Jesus, and he says, I must need go through Samaria. I must need. And Jesus could have taken the route that many of us decide to take, and that is the route of avoidance, or that is the long route. I'm going to take the long way around. It's been too long, y'all. It's been too long. We've been avoiding this too long. Why would you take such a long time to get your deliverance? Why would you take so long to get your breakthrough? Why would you prolong your deliverance and your breakthrough because you don't want to deal with an issue? Why? Just deal with it. Let's just deal with it. And once we put it out on the table, we talk about it, we get healthy, we get better, we get delivered by it. And then we can coexist better together. Our family be stronger. Our world, our cities, our schools, our communities, everything is better because we decided to go through Samaria, which is the problem place, the place where there's racial discrimination. We decided to go through that place instead of take the 3-day journey. Because history teaches us that where they were at, it would have taken them 3 days to get to their destination if they didn't go through Samaria. And that's where we at. And so we're prolonging deliverance. Prolonging it. Now, that is a figure of speech, so to speak, in order to put this. But how many of us, we say that I'm going to go on a 3-day journey and go around? It sounds like what happened when the children of Israel went through the Exodus and they was trying to get to the promised land. You remember that? They was in the wilderness for 40 years and they just danced. They just went around and around in circles because they couldn't deal with the issues that they had internally within themselves. God wanted to get not just them geographically out of Egypt, but he wanted to get that stuff that was in Egypt that had got in them. He wanted to get that out of them as well. And he says, you can't take this into where you're going. The promised land, you can't take this into the promised land. So Jesus had this woman was at the well, and he says, no, I'm going to go through Samaria because there is something there that I need to deal with. I'm going to deal with both of y'all. I'm dealing with all of it. I ain't scared. Okay? So he gets there and he's saying, okay, give me something to drink. Because ultimately, what Jesus is at, and this is what we really need to understand, is that he was concerned about cultural issues, but when he got there, he didn't address the culture. He addressed the woman. And what he was saying to the woman, he says, woman, I'm not here for your culture, I'm here for your soul. So even though she was making an excuse, and she was saying, well, y'all don't associate with us. Y'all not affiliated. You ain't got nothing for me. I know you ain't got nothing for me. I know you ain't trying to be nice to me. I know you ain't. Because that's not your makeup. That's where she was at. She was on that stuff. That's where a lot of us are at. We on that stuff. Whatever that stuff is, whatever it is, we own it. The Jews was on it. The Samaritans was on it. The Samaritans was on it from the standpoint that they said, listen, they ain't got no holler for us. And the Jews was on it from the standpoint they were saying, hey, listen, we better. We better than them. They did something to us and we on top. Jesus is with us now. We on top. So they need us. They need what we got. We don't need what they got. They did something to us. And because you did something to me, my salvation, my religion, my religion, how some of us in Christendom, we say, well, it depends on what happened and whatever that is. If it's not too bad, we can move on. But if it's too bad, you're going to make me lose my religion. You go, okay, so if whatever happens to you makes you lose your religion, then that means that's exactly what it was. You had a religion and you didn't have Jesus. You didn't have the Christ. Because if you have the Christ, if you got Jesus, then what happens to you is not lost. You don't lose it as a result of what happens to you. You don't lose it. So I'm sorry to bust your bubble. He comes to her and he says, listen, all that is true. Okay, this is what is not said, but this is what's going on. And you know what's going on because of what's not said. All that is true, woman. You know, whatever it is what it is. But I am here, I'm concerned about you. And I'm concerned about your soul. So she goes on and she's making her excuses about, getting him something to drink and all that. And he says, listen, if you knew who asked of you to give him something to drink, you would ask of me. See, the problem is that we don't consider Jesus in our issues. We always looking at Jacob's well, the man at the bank, the Republican Party, the Democratic Party, the election. Voting is important. Don't forget to vote. Do I have enough money in the bank? What about my cousin? What they gonna think about it? About my mom and them, and all everything else, but to consider Jesus. Now all that is that's a consideration. But see, in this particular case, and you gotta be able to diagnose this case by case, situation by situation, incident by incident. In this particular case, Jesus said, no, I'm trying to get healing to you. I'm trying to heal you. I'm trying to heal you psychologically. I'm trying to heal you spiritually. And he says, if you would know who was talking to you, you would ask of me to drink, because when you drink this water, you will thirst no more. If you drink this water is equipped with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. No, it ain't just salvation. I'm sorry. It ain't just Jesus. I'm sorry. It ain't just going to church. I'm sorry. But it requires this drink that I'm getting ready to give you is loaded. It's got knowledge, wisdom, understanding in it. It's got healing in it. It's got power. It's got an anointing in it. It's got excellence inside of it. It's got the wherewithal to get up and to do better. It's got change all in it. It's got you in it, you not being slowful and you being motivated, energetic, all that. It's got forgiveness in it. It's got all the stuff that you need. It's got grace in it. It's got mercy in it. It's got tenderness in it. It's got kindness in it. It's got all that stuff in it. It's got a whole lot of stuff in it that you need in this water that you need to drink. Drink some of this. And you won't have to worry about your bills and your boyfriend and your wife and your husband and your bank account and all that, because in this water, I'm going to lead you to different places. I'm going to lead you to school, and I'm going to lead you to an economic book, and I'm going to lead you to a history book that's going to teach you about the differences in black people and white people. And as you read, you will start to be illuminated. Your mind will start to ingest and digest in your mind, in your mental, that, maybe I need to look at this a little bit different. Maybe I need to look at life a little bit different. Maybe I need to look at people a little bit different. That's what it's going to be in it. Not only did Jesus come for your soul, See, because where we are at, even when we deal with it, and I'm gonna tell you, this is life. I'm in my 50s, so I know it very well. And if I don't know it by now, it's gonna be kind of hard for me because I'm like I'm in the third quarter. Here it comes, bring it home. Maybe, hopefully, for another 50 years, bring it home. But early third quarter, and I'm gonna bring it home with a quality of life. Not just with a quantity of life, quality of life. But the way we do it is we say, we bump elbows. And so what that's saying is that I don't really want to have nothing to do with you. We're in the same place and we're going to act as if, because we got to, act like we like each other, we get along and all that. You at work. White folks, they congregate in one area. Black folks, they congregate in another area. Then whites and blacks come together in a neutral area, but there's differences. We all know what it is. Ain't nobody talking about it, though. See, that's the difference. When you all know what it is, but ain't nobody talking about it. So Jesus didn't deal with it that way. He said, I ain't just going to come and see you and Samaritan woman, and I'm a Jew, and I just nod my head. How you doing? Because that was inadmissible. It was not prohibited. It was not lawful. You don't do that. You don't acknowledge them. What's wrong with you? You don't acknowledge them. So that's the way that we do it. We really don't acknowledge them even when we in the presence with one another, because when we get finished, whites go and they talk about the way that they talk, and blacks go and they talk about the way that they talk. And so when at the end of the day you say, well, you know what it is. Jesus didn't do that. He says, no, I am not just here just to nod, to acknowledge. I am here to give you a drink of me because I want to establish relationship with you. I want you to come into my house. I want you to sup with me. And I want to sup with you. When we really get serious about this thing, whites, blacks, they'll sit at the same table and they will continue at the same table. When they get up there, go eat together. They will share together. They will laugh and hug and all that stuff together. Together. Not, form, fashion. Form, fashion. So, beyond that, what Jesus also was saying to the woman, I got to wrap this up. He was saying, I care about your salvation because I'm here. So I came for your soul. But in coming for your soul, I am also concerned about the cares that you care about. I am also concerned about what is going on around you. Although I didn't address it initially when I first got here. I am concerned about, how you know that Jesus was concerned about it? Because when the question came up about her husband, that was a concern for what was happening in her life. That was a cultural concern. That was a relationship concern. Jesus was saying, I'm concerned about the dynamics, the moving parts in your life. I'm concerned about what's happening to you, what's going on. And so we need to understand that. So when we take this scripture and we unpack it and we apply it to our lives from a cultural standpoint, there's a lot in it. There's a lot in it. I wrote here in my notes, by sharing this water with the woman, Jesus was saying, I want to be in relationship with you, not just a casual handshake or nod of the head. As Jesus communes with the woman, he challenges her issues. He challenges her in her issues in life. And as he does that, what he is saying to her is that I care. Wouldn't it be something now that if we can all get to the place to where everybody believes that everybody cares? Not me asking you how you doing and not really caring about how you doing, but when I say, how are you? How's your day? And I am really concerned about how are you and what's going on in your day. I really am. And you really are. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Wouldn't that be beautiful? In that we can ultimately get around this issue of hatred and unforgiveness. I hate you. I don't forgive you for what you did to me. Stop. Stop it. I know it was hard. I ain't taking that away. That it was real what happened to you. But in order for us to move forward, we got to let it go. And when I say let it go, I'm not just talking about white, black. I'm talking about family issues. I'm talking about marital issues. I'm talking about all types of issues that life has brought upon us. And we got to let it go. Because if we don't let it go, we will prolong our deliverance. We will prolong our promised land. And just like the Jews, with all that dissension and hatred